Condoleezza Rice was born on November 14, 1954, in Birmingham, Alabama, surrounded by racism and segregation. She was an only child whose father served as a minister and her mother served as a teacher. At an early age, Rice was drawn to music. As a child, Condoleezza Rice dreamed of becoming a concert pianist. She entered college as a music major. However, after taking a course in international politics, she changed her career aspirations. Her love for international music translated into a successful career in international diplomacy. Throughout her career, Rice became the first African American woman to hold several positions, including Secretary of State. Rice grew up during a deeply segregated era of American history. She was born in 1954 in Birmingham, Alabama, to parents who were both educators. Birmingham was clearly divided into black and white spheres during Rice's childhood, and the two worlds rarely met. But her parents were determined that their only child would grow up to be an accomplished and well-rounded young woman. Rice began piano lessons at the age of 3 and gave her first recital at the age of 4. She was somewhat of a musical prodigy in the Birmingham area, asked to perform often at community events. In addition to the long hours spent practicing piano, she took French and Spanish after school and later became a competitive figure skater. My whole community was determined not to let their children's horizons be limited by growing up in segregated Birmingham, Rice recalled in an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Sometimes I think they overcompensated because they wanted their kids to be so much better. Rice remembers, "I feel increasingly fortunate that I grew up in Birmingham when I did," she said. "I had a loving family who made it clear that the most important things for me were faith, family, and education. I think my father thought I might be president of the United States one day. I think he would have been satisfied with Secretary of the State. I'm a foreign policy person, and I have a chance to serve my country as the nation's chief diplomat at a time of peril and consequence. And that's enough," she said, adding that her future plans focus on being an educator. In 1993, Rice became the first woman and first African American to serve as provost of Stanford University, a post she held for 6 years. During that time, she also served as the university's chief budget and academic officer. In the mid-1980s, Rice spent a period in Washington, D.C., working as an International Affairs Fellow attached to the Joint Chief of Staff. In 1989, she became Director of Soviet and East European Affairs with the National Security Council and Special Assistant to President George W. Bush during the dissolution of the Soviet Union and German reunification. In 1997, she served on the Federal Advisory Committee on Gender-Integrated Training in the Military. In 2008, she started the 100 Million One Woman Initiative program. It's a partnership that trains Muslim women for leadership. She's created innovative programs for women to serve in leadership roles, helping them to reform their own governments. There are 3 ways to deal with barriers: go around them, go over them, or if you have to, go right through them. And that's just what Condoleezza Rice does when she encourages others to do. Miss Rice spends time mentoring young adults from Birmingham. Service to others is actually the highest form of leadership, she says. She encourages youth to be determined and to achieve their goals. At the Maryland presidential retreat known as Camp David, Miss Rice was known to watch hours of televised sports with President Bush. Both were dedicated sports fans, and Rice was known to spend an entire day on her own watching college and pro football games. Her name has been mentioned as a possible future vice presidential candidate, although she jokes she would rather serve as commissioner of the NFL. In 2012, Rice and South Carolina businesswoman Darla Moore became the first women to simultaneously become members of the Augusta National Golf Club, located in Augusta, Georgia. This event was monumental because this golf club was known for all-men membership and failure to repeat women. I've chosen Condoleezza Rice for my digital story because she worked to promote peace globally and pave the way for women and minorities to hold positions of leadership. She's the first African American woman to be appointed as the National Security Advisor and to hold the position of Secretary of State of the United States.